It's the 9th of Tishrei, Erev Yom Kippur. I want to thank all of you who've been listening to these thoughts over the past 40 days, though we haven't had a thought every day. I also want to thank Rabbi Mark Wilds for sharing a number of ideas with me that I've been able to draw upon during this session. But tonight is Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. And it's very interesting. We begin Yom Kippur by saying the bracha of Shechianu. Shechianu is normally something that we say when we do something new and special. When we wear a new article of clothing for the first time, we eat a fruit for the first time in the season, or we perform a mitzvah for the first time, like Shechianu, on a lulav, shofar, and Rosh Hashanah. We praise Hashem and we say, thank you, Hashem, blessed are you, Hashem, who's given us life and sustained us and delivered us to this season. Why do we say it at the beginning of Yom Kippur? What's new on Yom Kippur? There are no specific mitzvot associated with the day. And the Belzer Rebbe said that we actually recite Shechianu on Yom Kippur over ourselves, our new selves, because there is a new us, a new me that we're about to become. And the point of Yom Kippur is to recreate ourselves anew, becoming the very best possible version of ourselves. In Hilchot Teshuvah, Rambam makes the point that Teshuvah, or returning to Hashem, enables us to become someone else. We say during Yom Kippur the Yud Gimel, the 13 divine attributes of mercy. And we repeat these numerous times throughout the day. But why do we keep saying the same thing? Why do we keep repeating the same words? Is it just because it's some divine formula that we mutter and then we become forgiven? And maybe, as Rabbi Wiles points out, we need to remember one of the introductory phrases of the Tefillah. When we refer to Hashem's instructions to Moshe, anytime the Jewish people sin, they should do these 13 attributes and I will forgive them. They should do these 13 attributes and I will forgive them. It doesn't say that we just say them. We're not reciting the 13 attributes. We're doing them as well. We're living these tefillot out. Our tefillot are not simply words to be said, but rather ideas that we ourselves become. And I'd like to finish with a story that I've heard in many places, but again, Rabbi Wiles refers to it in his lessons for this month. And it's something to think about as we say Avinu Malkeinu during Yom Kippur. We don't say Avinu Malkeinu on Erev Yom Kippur, but we say it on Yom Kippur itself. And this is a true story. I've heard it in many, many places. And forgive me if you've heard it as well, but it deserves being repeated. There was a man who owned a very expensive jewelry store in Israel. And one day, a young 9-year-old girl walked into his shop to buy a bracelet. And she looked through the glass display and pointed to an expensive piece of jewelry that cost somewhere in the region of 17,000 shekalim. That's about £4,000, approximately, depending on the exchange rate. And the owner of the store said to her, "Do you want to buy that?" "Yes," said the little girl. "Well," said the man, "you've got very, very good taste. Who do you want to buy it for?" And the girl said, "For my older sister." "That's very nice," said the man. "But why do you want to buy your older sister such an expensive bracelet?" "Well," said the girl, "I don't have a father or a mother. My older sister takes care of all of us. So we collected all our money to buy her a present." And with that comment, the 9-year-old girl pulled out a handful of coins from her pocket and showed them to the jeweler. And the jeweler counted up the money, and that amounted to 7 shekels and 80 agorot, not £2. The jeweler was moved. And he said to the little girl, "You're in luck. That's exactly what this bracelet costs." He wrapped up the gift, handed the bracelet to the little girl, and she left the store with a big smile. A few years later, the older sister comes into the store and says to the owner, I'm terribly sorry, sir, but my little sister shouldn't have taken this bracelet without paying." The owner said, "What are you talking about? She paid for it in full." The sister said, "Oh, but there's absolutely no way my sister could have afforded such an amazing piece of jewelry. It's just impossible." "No," said the store owner, "she paid in full. 7 shekels, 80 akarot, and a broken heart." And the store owner continued, "Forgive me. My wife died a few years ago. People come into my shop every day to buy expensive pieces of jewelry, and they can afford it. When your little sister walked in, wanting to buy you something special, and she showed me all the money she collected, it was the first time since my wife died that I remembered what it really means to love someone. So I gave the bracelet and wished her well." Why am I telling this story? On Yom Kippur, we're going to be making lots of requests from Hashem. We're going to turn to Hashem on the holiest day of the year and ask him for life, for chaim, for good health, for a decent livelihood, parnasa, in the coming year. We're going to ask him for peace in the land of Israel, for good health for those who are suffering, to heal in some way the wounds of the people who've lost so much in the past few years. And then we're going to reach into our pockets. What are we going to find there? What are we going to find to pay for all these brachot that we're going to ask for? We're going to realize that maybe, we've got a few merits. We've done a few good things, but we've not got enough to pay for all the things that we're asking for. We're going to manage to fill out a few shekalim, a few pence, a few coins. A mitzvah here, a mitzvah there. Maybe we kept Shabbat a little. Maybe we learned a little. Maybe we gave some tzedakah to poor people. Maybe we telephoned someone who's lonely. Maybe we studied some Torah. Maybe we went to a few shiurim. Maybe we tried to daven. You know what? We don't have enough to really pay Hashem for all the brachot that we're going to ask for on Yom Kippur. And that's why the last line of Avinu Malkeinu begins, Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King, have mercy on us and answer us, although we don't have enough deeds. We've accumulated a few mitzvot, a few merits over the year, but not enough to justify our request. But we do have one thing, and something we can never underestimate, and that's a broken heart. We're told in Tehillim that Hashem is near to the brokenhearted, and he saves those of crushed spirit. We come before Hashem, contrite and sincere, with a genuine interest in doing better in the year to come, to be kinder to our fellow human beings, to give more charity, more tzedakah, to speak more positively about each other, to learn more Torah, to increase our observance of Shabbat and other mitzvot. We conclude Avinu Malkeinu with the words, do with us charity and kindness and save us. We admit we don't have enough to pay for what we ask. But Hashem, please give us good health. Give us a life of sweetness and happiness. Do it in the merit of our broken heart, of us coming before you and saying, we know we can do better. Just give us another chance. And in that merit, and in the merit of us learning as we have done since the beginning of Elul, the merit we've had of spiritually trying to prepare ourselves for Yom Kippur, may Hashem inscribe us all for a new year of good health, prosperity, peace, meaning, and purpose. Machasim Tova, Shana Tova. May you have an easy and meaningful fast.